Welcome to Gender Issues Program on NTA Channel 12 Owerri. As usual, we have come with another interesting topic today. How interesting it is, we are going to look at sex and sorting for grades in higher institution. We have guests in the house that will talk to us, and we have the beautiful audience who have come all the way. Put your hands together for yourselves. And permit me to introduce our guest on the show today. We want to look at this topic. What is the implication of this in our education sector? What's the implication on the students? What is the implication on the quality of graduates who turn out every year in the country? It's a very serious development that we must talk about and see how we can nip it to the bud. That is why we have come today. Relax as we roll on the program, but I will have to introduce our guest in the house. By my immediate left, I have a legal luminary. She is the past National Secretary of FIDA. FIDA is International Federation of Women Lawyers. All the way from Imo State University, put your hands together for Barrister Mrs. Chigoziri Ojiaka. Ma, you're welcome. She is from the Department of Law, Imo State University. It's a pleasure to have you, ma'am.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome, ma'am. And next to her, we have a priest in the house, not a chief priest. He's a priest of God. He is the Dean of Student Affairs, Alvan Ikoku Federal College of Education. Put your hands together for Reverend Father Dr. Gilbert Alaribo. But it's a pleasure to have you. I succeeded in pulling you today. So you now see what we do. Thank you so much. I am Rina Ohiri, your host on the show. Relax as we roll the program. And it begins now. Father, I'm going to start with you. As the Dean of Student Affairs, I'm sure this topic is not strange. And the question is, what is sex and sorting for grades in higher institutions?
For me personally, the key word is sorting. And sorting is a general name given to a host of malpractices in our higher institutions, especially that of demanding from students either cash or kind for awarding them marks after tests and examinations. Some students, it's expected that they pay in cash. Other students, especially the female students, lecturers demand that they sleep with them. And this is where sex comes into the whole situation. So sex and sorting for grades in higher institutions is not strange to us. We get reports from students all the time. We try our little best to mediate between lecturers and students where we can, and where we cannot, we take actions, especially if we notice that a staff is at fault. But it is not always also that we must give the whole blame to the staff, because there are students who come into higher institutions and who somehow are confused with the target for being in higher institutions and who are not there to read and do the hard work demanded before they can graduate. And sometimes these students provoke the more naive and innocent lecturers to get into practices that originally they may not have wanted to do in the first place.
All right, Father, I will soon come to the causes of this development. As a lecturer, what do you need to add when we say sex and sorting for grades in higher institutions?
The issue of sex for marks, we remember very well that a few months ago, there was a publication that went round which indicted some lecturers at some universities in Nigeria and even some in West Africa. It is abominable for a lecturer to demand for either sex or cash from students in any form to give them higher grades. I'm also aware that some students are asked to buy television sets, generating sets, refrigerator, and all kinds of equipment for them to earn higher marks, either in their project, presentation, or even for examination and test. This is condemnable, and it is an abomination that young people have been put under their care, should be the ones to breed immorality in the society. But also, this is like a two-tie event. It is not always that lecturers solicit for either sex or cash. Sometimes it's actually the students that solicit for such, especially the ones that are not ready to work hard. Some of them actually are the ones that, get to the lecturers to ask them or to get them to take what they can offer and then give them the other side. But that is not to say that it is an excuse for anybody to do what is morally wrong.
But I'm coming to you again. At this point in time, what would you say are the causes of this development?
The causes are numerous because the problem is also systemic. And being systemic, it means there isn't just one particular cause, there are several. The first I will mention is the misunderstanding about the purpose of education, especially since the reform of Nana Asika Obabi, where education was taken away from missionaries, from the missions, the churches. There has been an appreciation, a higher prominence given to certificates and a depreciation of the place of morals and character formation in education. And that depreciation is partly responsible for why certificates are valued above everything, and why students sometimes value their certificates, and in aiming for that certificate sometimes put themselves at some risks, either by offering or allowing themselves to be coerced into having sex or buying items, giving cash to some of their lecturers. So there is that problem from the society that values certificates more than the skills or the character formation that should also accompany education. Now there is also, again, coming from the society, a misplacement of priorities. Now we live in a society in Nigeria where we give a lot of credence to people who achieve and who have money. We don't even ask questions how they came to their wealth or how they come to their certification. And that has resulted in a rat race where people try to get there by all means, because tomorrow nobody will ask them how they got there. And this is why then, the problem has filtered into our educational system, whereby students want to get there at all costs because they know tomorrow the parents wouldn't care and the society wouldn't care. All that the society will demand from them is whether they made first class or whether they made 2-1 or whether they made third class, and nobody will care how you got to that first class. Nobody will question how you made that 2-1. So these are some of the problems coming from the attitudes prevalent in our Nigerian society, and these attitudes are partly responsible for some of the ills we have in our educational sector.
Put your hands together for him, please. I would also need you to add your voice to what could be the causes of this development we are witnessing today.
Just like he said, it is just not one cause. There are many causes. And I have to look at the other aspects that he did not touch on. I want to look at it from the gender point of view, which is that it is an exhibition of power play and male domination. Culturally, we believe that it is a man's world. And so many men believe that women are supposed to be like fringe benefits at some point or the other. So some of the lecturers that engage in such acts believe that since the students are under their care, it is like a fringe benefit, one of those things that they could get in the course of their work. Let me remind you that these days, we see a lot of cases of fathers raping their daughters, even daughters having children for their
Fathers.
I think the society, there's a lot of perversion
Turning upside down.
in the society, which is part of why this is happening, and it seems like nothing is being done about it. I think there's moral decadence in the society, because under normal circumstances, a morally balanced human being, both male and female, won't indulge in such. Secondly, even some of the students don't even see it as anything. They see it as, I had one startling case, which was that a certain lecturer asked a student to bring another friend of hers for two of them to sleep with the same lecturer. And I'm like, what is the problem? Why can't this student even refuse and report
Say
the
no.
matter?
Yeah.
You know, so it shows that even that student does not take it as anything. Because I can't imagine myself, or even my daughter, being involved in such. There was a certain lecturer at one university where my daughter is, my last daughter. I mean, there was no case of harassment, but the way a PhD student was talking to my daughter, and the way he was pestering my daughter put a call through to me. I said, Mommy, I want to report a student. He said he's a PhD student that is pestering me. I've told him that I'm not interested in his friendship, and he's still pestering me. I want to report him to you. This is his number. I mean, it's unimaginable that a young girl could do that. Because under normal circumstances, some of them will think it's a joke or it's a play, and they're just going back and forth. Before you know it, I mean, somebody will be raped. When my daughter gave me that number, I called the number. Apparently, because of the true caller, when the person saw Ojaka, he refused to pick that call. And then after 2 days, when he saw my daughter, he said, so you have the effrontery to report me to your mom? God forbid. In fact, if you see me, just walk your way. I don't want to have anything to do with you. And that was the end of it. You can see how people reporting and taking a step. See, evil,
The situation.
evil strives in secrecy. That is the problem. When people want to keep a secret, then you have a problem at hand. So part of it, like I said, is moral decadence and the perception of the society on issues relating to sex and all that. You can see the level of prostitution in our society. All of them translate to the same thing. Even some of these our students are the ones that stand on the road in the night. So for such a person, you're talking about giving sex for anything. The person does not really care. Then another issue also is the fact that people have come to school and employers are always emphasizing on first class 2-1. But research
Without
has
minding.
shown that some of those people that have such high grades sorted themselves all the way. So I think intelligence and knowledge could be tested with giving people, test them on their abilities, on what they can offer in the society. You said something about a computer analyst or scientist not being able to even, open a computer. That is part of the problem. Another thing is that when you look at the educational system, the institutions are actually supposed to award certificates as a result of having found somebody worthy in learning and character. That is
Not just
the
learning.
basis for awarding certificates all over the world. But you can see that these institutions are not interested in even ascertaining the moral standard of such students. So they end up just looking at the academics without looking at character. That is part of the problem, because if we have the black book, like in our faculty of law, we have the black book where people's names are supposed to enter. And for example, if somebody knows that if you are found sleeping with a lecturer, even if you didn't report and you were found, you will also be found wanting in character. Then such people will also now make effort to report such cases, because they know that their own future might be marred by not reporting. So a whole lot of issues and implications that we cannot be able to enumerate here. But suffice it to say that society has a lot of perversion, and we really have to fight all of them together.
Hello, viewer. I hope you're following us on the program. We'll be back after this break. Stay tuned.
Hello, this is Kervic Shoes, located at the highbrow of Owerri. At Kervic Shoes, your comfort and satisfaction is our top priority. We have exquisite rooms of various sizes, carefully designed to meet your needs and choices. Wow, check these out. Our services are nothing short of first class, so whatever you need, come to Kervic Shoes, situated in the heart of Owerri City, the Imo State capital. To make your stay memorable, you can reach us on the following number or email address. Kervic Shoes will leave a lasting impression.
Welcome back. You're still on Gender Issues program, and at this point in time, we'll have to go to the audience, let them share their experiences with us, then we'll take it off from there. Tell us your name.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Chukwueke Emmanuel Chukwuebuka.
In the first place, are you happy to be in this program today?
Sure. Of course, I'm very happy.
What do you have to share with us?
Okay, I'll go straight to the point. Mine is not that of sex. It is about sorting of grades. It was last semester, one of the courses I wrote. I think I did well, and of course, I'm one of the best by God's grace in that particular course is a calculation course, accounting. And because of the fear of accounting, everyone was like, wow, we know you will do well, we know you will do well and all that. And at the end of the day, when I checked, I had missing script. And of course, I've already said to myself, because my dad would always tell me, the three things for you to do in order to pass your exam is number one, to read, number two, to read, and the third one also to read. So there is no other shortcut. So I've got no other shortcut. So, and after I went through it, I said, okay, fine, let me meet the lecturer. And I met the lecturer, and they said, what you do is fill the form, which was the right thing. We'll look for your script, and maybe it's from the lecturer's fault. Okay. So after I found the script, fine, they found the script. What happened? They said, you have to come and see us. At least you won't stress us this much and not drop something. And me, I don't believe in that. So I said, no, I'm not going to do that. They said, okay, if you're not going to do that, that means you're coming back to write it.
Who is telling you this now? The lecturer or
Yes.
some of the students working for them?
Some of the students, not even working for them, those who don't believe in that they can pass accounting so easily without doing something.
Okay.
So they were like, no, you come back and write it. Accounting is not an easy course, it's strict credit unit and all that. I said, fine, I'm not going to do anything. So I said, no, I'm not doing anything. And after everything, seeing that I didn't do anything and they know, yes, I can pass it. And if I'm to be given that exam, I will write it and also pass it. They had no other option, because maybe they might have gone through my script to see that this person.
You gave them.
Yes, I gave them assignment. So what they did was, they just gave me my score, and ever since then, nothing has happened. And when they see me, they just look at me and just cross. I keep greeting them, good day, sir, good day, ma. Thank you very much.